Have you ever heard that science and religion are locked in an eternal war? This idea, often called the conflict model, suggests that ever since ancient Greece, it's been a non-stop battle between faith and reason. It's a popular story for sure, but most historians today see it as a huge oversimplification. The real relationship is much more complicated and, honestly, way more interesting. This war narrative really took off during the Enlightenment in the 18th and 19th centuries. Thinkers like John William Draper and Andrew Dickson White wrote influential books that painted a picture of science constantly fighting against religious dogma. They presented history as a series of battles where scientific progress was always clashing with theological stagnation. And according to this view, science always won. You've probably heard about the big ones, the Copernican revolution, where Galileo's discoveries challenged the Church's view of the cosmos, and Darwin's theory of evolution, which offered a new perspective on the origin of species. These events are often presented as knockout punches, proving science's superiority. They certainly marked a shift where the scientific method gained authority over matters of the physical world, and the Church's influence in those areas began to wane. But is that the whole story? Not even close. Looking at history, the relationship between science and religion isn't just about conflict. Scholar Ian Barber actually proposed 4 different ways to look at it. First, there's conflict, the model we've been talking about, where they're seen as totally incompatible. Then there's independence. This view says science and religion operate in completely different realms. Science asks how the universe works, dealing with the observable and testable. Religion, on the other hand, asks why we're here and explores questions of meaning, purpose, and morality. They're like 2 different languages, each valid in its own domain, so there's no need for them to interfere with each other. A third model is dialogue. Here, science and religion can actually talk to each other and learn from one another. Think about big ethical questions that arise from scientific advancements, like genetic engineering or artificial intelligence. These aren't just scientific problems, they're moral and philosophical ones too. In this model, religion can offer valuable perspectives, and science can inform theological thinking about the nature of the world. Finally, there's integration. This is the idea that science and religion can be brought together into a cohesive worldview. This happens in things like natural theology, which sees the intricate workings of nature as evidence of a divine creator. Many scientists throughout history and even today have been deeply religious people who see their scientific work not as a challenge to their faith, but as a way of exploring and appreciating creation. For them, science is a form of worship. So why does faith persist in a scientific age? It's not just about people stubbornly refusing to accept facts. It's because faith addresses fundamental human needs that science, by its very design, doesn't aim to fulfill. We all crave meaning, a moral compass, and a sense of comfort in the face of life's biggest questions. Science gives us incredible tools to understand the physical universe, but it doesn't tell us how to live a good life or how to find peace. While there have definitely been real moments of conflict, to say that's the only story is to miss the bigger picture. The reality is that science and religion can and do coexist. They can have productive dialogues and even enrich one another. Many of the world's leading scientists are people of faith, and many religious institutions actively support and fund scientific research. The war makes for a good headline, but the truth is a story of complex and often collaborative human endeavor.